Good evening, guys. I hope we are all doing very well. It is currently 11:45 at night. I voice over in this video only because I want it up as soon as possible. We are actually going to be training arms, if you haven't been able to tell by the thumbnail already. However, getting some good old supplementation ready here. We've got Ride-On, Hydro AA and Carb Up for my intro workout. But like I say, we're in for biceps and triceps. The one that I definitely think a lot of people like to be able to maybe get away with not putting as much emphasis on the approach to their arm training from an intensity perspective, from actually trying to be able to lift pretty heavy and pretty hard. I think there's definitely merit in some movements, not going absolutely extreme from a weight perspective, and to be honest, that goes for pretty much all movements. We obviously don't want to get to a point where our execution has been broken down that much to the point of where we literally feel nothing apart from our joints just getting absolutely cooked. But with that being said, we began the session with a drag curl variation using the hoist bicep curl. You are meant to sit down on that machine, but to be honest, I tried it standing up and it felt absolutely bang on. And to be fair, we were actually running a bit under time for this session. It was an in and out session, so being able to just jump on that instead of setting up a cable machine was absolutely fantastic. Moving on from here, EZ bar push down. This is definitely something that throughout the off season I've been focusing on a lot, only because I must be honest, my triceps are definitely not a strong area for me. They are definitely an area I need to be able to bring up, and I just simply need to put a little bit more focus on how I'm actually training them and not necessarily how heavy I'm going. So with that being said, yes, of course I'm still training heavy, but I'm training heavy with a lot more focus on how I actually execute each and every single movement. And to be honest, getting a lot better at my push down work, at my overhead extension work, has been something that I've really prioritized this off season more than anything, only because it's been something that I've genuinely just not given time to. I've kind of been that total opposite person of, I've never been a good presser, I've always been a good puller. I've never really put that much time into tricep work, but I've always just been that one that's kind of jumped straight to a bicep curl. So to be honest, that's probably why my tricep work isn't really up to as much. I don't really know. I don't really want to say it's shit, because it's definitely not shit, but it's just definitely not up there compared to things like my bicep work. And exact same goes with my pressing. It's just not anywhere near my pulling work. But working here on the Smith Machine JM press, which is absolutely one of my favorites. This is also me just being an absolute pain in the arse, only because Sarah was behind the camera and I was in one of these weird moods that I was just honestly doing the stupidest stuff at times, just to be able to try and annoy her, only because it's just something that I do. However, once again, guys, anything from HR Labs you pick up, if you can use Kiffy15, it's absolutely mega, because to be honest, I literally make no money whatsoever from my sponsors. And I mean, I always get asked, like, how do I go about getting a sponsorship? How do I go about getting paid by my sponsors, etc, etc, etc. Guys, honestly, you just need to be super lucky. But to be honest, I'm going to be transparent with you. I don't make money from the sponsors unless I actually try my best and make it. So if you can use my code, that would be appreciated. And to be honest, going back to that JM press there, I was actually really fucking happy with that 3 plates aside on the Flat Smith JM, because it's a movement as well that I've really got on well with, and especially I thought it was one that would absolutely savagely fuck my joints up, but actually I've got on so well with it, and I get on extremely well with now a lot more over the head extension work throughout my elbow joints, which is actually pretty refreshing. So I was super happy with that one. Now another variation of the good old Kiffy curl that's technically not, because I'm using D handles, I'm using a gym pin, and to be honest, kind of just goes against the grain. But in all honesty, myself and Finn done a incline bench D-handle cable curl at the Physique Club on the past weekend, and to be honest, it felt incredible. There was unfortunately no narrow cables that I could get on because they were all took, so I made this one work here, and to be honest, just utilising the gym pin ultimately made it the exact same, and to be honest, felt absolutely incredible. Now moving on to the 5th movement of the session, good old bicep curl with the dumbbells. It's basic, is easy, super simple, time efficient. You literally walk up to a fucking dumbbell rack, you pick the dumbbells off the rack, you pick moderately heavy dumbbells to the point of where you're not obviously just swinging them about like an absolute monkey. I mean, you could question my execution here, but to be honest, these felt absolutely bang on the money, so I don't care what you've got to say about my front delts potentially coming into play here. Yes, I curled them all the way up to the point of where they're at my head, only because I feel as if I can contract my biceps super hard, and to be honest, I think my bicep peaks are also one of the kind of not strongest, but they're definitely not a weak part to my physique. Outside of that, moving on, final movement here, one of my all-time favorites, Atlantis over the head extension machine. Also one I want to get really fucking strong at, to be honest. Oh yeah, did I mention Kefi15 at HR Labs? That is absolutely terrible. I mean, nobody's going to use my code now. However, like I say, this is definitely one I want to get really fucking strong at. Like, I mean really fucking strong at. So I think I was one off the stack today in this with, I would say as well, good execution, which I'm very happy with. So setting at all-time strengths now, which I'm very happy with. Like, well, how could I ever complain about setting at all-time strengths? However, short and sweet, guys. This one was short and sweet. I didn't want to go completely crazy on just uploading a 20-minute video that means absolutely nothing. I went in, trained arms, left, we had a roast dinner. It was absolutely fucking stunning. And to be honest, this is just me finishing on a little shitty back off set. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, use Kefi15 at HR Labs, and I'll catch up with you all in the next one.